And let me finish with some common trading wisdom. I got a few bits for you. Maybe you find some wisdom there. Trading is one of the most difficult things I've ever seen in my life. I really find it, every day I find it extremely hard. And I pretty much don't do it any longer. But to be anyway somehow successful at this stuff, you must work really, really hard at this. You must be an absolute independent thinker. It's like don't even want to talk to people. Just want to sit down at home and do your own homework. You need to understand, to have a massive understanding of economics, money, and psychology. Most of this stuff you're not going to learn at AUBG. Chances are slim for that. You must understand philosophy and history, and try to focus on anti-human behavior. Don't act like that guy or the other guy in the example, but try to focus. I mean, you have to act like, in a different way. For every dollar you make, somebody else would lose it, and your trading opponents would be some of the smartest cats on the planet. Everybody being out there trying to make a dollar, especially for newbies who want to taste, the quick buck. You need to actually always look for values in companies, especially when you do your analysis. The earnings per share are very critical, together with all kinds of other things. But these companies overstate them, they lie about them, you need to take them, you discount them, and so on and so forth. A good company doesn't mean a good stock. Somebody could say, well, boy, Facebook is great, blah, blah, but the shares of Facebook are tanking meanwhile. Maybe they're expensive, that's why. Companies lie and say all kinds of cute stuff about themselves which make very little sense. That was CMGI. That was when I was in Boston. That was one of the biggest dot-com bursts in history. Of Boston. So stuff they say is throughout their subsidiaries, they provide supply chain management services, and in fact they were just providing hosting for websites and some other, venture capital for websites. Then they went bankrupt massively. You need to ignore the crowd and be an independent thinker. Be extremely disciplined. Never mind the television gurus. They're they're not very intelligent people. And sometimes some of the things they say are just outright, just maybe somebody's agenda or maybe just not true. Here is a beautiful example. That's Japan. This is Fukushima right here. When everybody freaked out and thought that maybe Japan was going to disappear tomorrow and never will be any Japan whatsoever, and they panicked and they sold. What a wonderful buying opportunity Fukushima was. If anybody understood anything about government and so on, they would have realized that, okay, maybe the Mr. Abe, his name is Mr. I am the guy who's going to ruin Japan completely. He was going to introduce another massive government spending stimulus, whatever program, and spending in especially constructor sector and rebuilding sector. But that was just a stunning opportunity. Just the other day, when I noticed those big headlines, the Russian stock market is being crushed finally, and the Russians are going back to the boots. My wife sent me to Telex. I bought some rubles. If I could only show you. Anyway, what I was going to show you is when the headline started, 1 ruble went up to 50 something. And now it crashed down in just the last months, when everybody thought just Russia was about to disappear out of the face of the earth. Oh, I actually had it. There you go. That's what I meant. Exactly what I was going to show you. This is very, very recent. It comes to show you just when every time everybody starts, running away from something, it's just the time and place. This is very important to remember what your mama told you. Buy low and sell high. Always. Don't buy high, don't sell low. If something is too good to be true, it is. And you want to learn about money and exponential growth. So my second slide is identical to this one. This is very, very important. This one is extremely important. I'll throw you some hints. Maybe I did already. You need to learn about money and exponential growth. And you want to learn what wealth is. And one good thing that you want to learn if you want to become rich is what is inflation, what inflation is. That cute little picture shows you what one currency unit of Bulgaria as of today, which is worth nothing. It used to buy stacks and stacks and stacks. Bulgaria itself had about 6 currency reforms in the previous century alone. I would think this century would see at least that many, maybe. And many money will come and will go and will disappear. But the idea of what exactly money is, what should be money, and how to use it, and you know, it's something you want to think about, because all your life you want to go and work for somebody, create a business, at least work for money, not for some garbage substance somewhere. The exponential growth is a very important idea. You want to understand it. That's the story of the Persian king who met with the guy who invented chess. He was looking for ways to reward him. You know the story, everybody does. But it does come to show you that once something starts doubling and going into a geometric, into exponential growth, the exponential growth is extremely hard to sustain. For example, you have 1, 2, 4, 8. Always, once something doubles, it's always a bigger number than the sum of all the other ones taken together. Once markets start going bubblish and they go overextend themselves, or even simple assumptions like, what happens if tomorrow we double the entire world oil production and keep it like this for the next 10 years? That would at some point mean that maybe we have to produce more oil in a certain small period of time than we've ever produced in our history. So some things, for example, commodities business, we're seeing a growth and a growth and a growth and a growth, which is going to peak at some point and it's going to crash. Same goes with currency production and so on. Once a currency life gets out of control and it goes really exponential, history shows it's impossible to stop and you got to run for the hills. This is our little friend right here. And this is $1 trillion in $100 bills. That's a trillion with a T. This year alone, we're going to see many of those created throughout the world. And it's something to really think about.